We're going to 11, y'all, today on Live and Queer. Welcome to Live and Queer, QCC's queer art show. I'm your host, Maya Chinchilla, and today we have filmmaker Maria Breaux on the show. Whoa. Maria has made 15 queer films over the past 20 years, and she's collaborated on them with many folks in community, including members of the extended QCC family. Her most recent film, Vulveeta, which has been called a queer spinal tap, is going around the festival circuit and getting all the awards and accolades. I cannot wait to talk to her. But first, a quick bit of news. Today's show is our last one in 2022, and we're going to take a break for the holidays, and then we'll be back in January with a brand new show for a brand new year. Be sure to subscribe and hit that bell to get a notification for when we're back. All right, now let's bring on Maria. Welcome, Maria Breaux, everyone. Yay! So
Hello.
Good to finally talk to you, and I'm glad you're here.
Thank you. It's amazing. I'm so excited to be here as well.
Are you though? All right. Well, before we get into our chat, let's take a look at the trailer for Vulveeta.
I wanted to have a reunion show, and so I brought us all together to heal, to mend, and to rock.
I'm ready to give them another chance.
Having the band be in one room playing music together, especially when Gilda is singing, like that to me just feels like what I'm supposed to be doing.
What'd you think?
It was great. I love you.
I really love the band. I really do. But I love me more.
Where have you been? You took off. You left us. Where have you been this whole time?
Where have I been? You know what?
Are you serious?
Don't believe me, no.
What about Harriet?
Harriet?
I've never been in a band, but I've actually been in band therapy.
Beep, beep, box, box, tick, tick, talk, talk, beep, beep, box, box, woohoo, tick, tock.
Oh, okay. All right.
Oh wow! Even the trailer is funny. Can you tell us about the basic premise of this movie?
Yes, I can. So Vulveeta is a mockumentary. We often call it a mocku documentary about this fictitious band, Vulveeta, that 20 years ago, the lead singer, Gilda Bosley, just up and left and disappeared, and the band had to stop doing their thing or do their thing without her. And then 20 years later, as she's just about to turn 50, she's decided she wants to get them back together for a reunion. And so she has to convince them to get together. The city has changed a bunch since then. The tech boom, 2 tech booms happened, and she's gone through this long process of healing, and she's ready to rock.
Right, yes. Healing and ready to rock. I feel like that there's just so much ripe there, as well as being based in San Francisco, for sure. What made you want to make this movie? I mean, it's so much fun. I like laughing when I've seen it twice now, and just there's so many details in this movie. What was the basic inspiration for it?
Well, thank you. And I've seen it so many times, and I'm still laughing as well. And I hope that doesn't sound as selfish as Gilda is. But so the impetus was I have a long history in the Bay Area of doing solo performance, plays, sketch comedy, movies, and a lot of the material for the last maybe 10 to 15 years has been very heavy. I did a short set during the Salvadoran Civil War.
Yeah.
And I did another one about a young man in Austin who commits a crime and walks to California to try to find the teacher who believed in him, the one person he felt who believed in him.
Yeah.
And so it was very heavy. And before the pandemic, even when it got even heavier, I thought, I want to go back to comedy. Sketch comedy was fun, and making people laugh was fun.
Yeah.
And I also had gone through this journey of having performed. I did music in college with, coffee house, acoustic guitar, and
Really?
I went through an Indigo Girls phase. Okay, so I've said it. I've said it.
Didn't we all? Well, maybe not necessarily Indigo Girls, but yes, rock and roll fantasies.
Phase. Yes. And so there was the music, the performance, there was the filmmaking, there was the writing. And I said, okay, I'm almost 50. Let's put this all together and do something fun and funny with my community that I have built over time, and give it back to community and see where it goes. And then I had this character idea for Gilda with the original name. Then she became Gilda. Then she became Grolda.
Oh, okay. Yes.
And I got together with some other actors, and we all developed our own characters, and we made this band, Vulveeta.
Okay. Yeah, and putting the extra R's on Grilda, that definitely makes it more hardcore.
Extra R's are very important. That comes straight from Ruby, who was in the movie, as well as costume designer, who you're gonna hear that a lot, like costume designer, actress, came up with this idea. We tended to wear a lot of different hats, shoe shiner, accountant,
Yes.
Those last two I made up, but
especially
there were a lot of
hats.
Yeah.
Yeah, but lots of hats. So that's great. You brought all these different types of people, the people that you seem that are, loved ones and friends, and it's such a fun time. And what for you, having made both drama and comedy, what is different about making comedy?
The difference, especially on this project, was that this one was completely improvised. So I'm a huge Christopher Guest fan, Best in Show, Waiting for Guffman, Spinal Tap, of course.
Yes.
And so I said, okay, let's do something the same, but different. There's some elements that you'll see that are kind of borrowed in homage to Christopher Guest. I don't want to say stolen. And so the difference with this project was we really had to be in the moment. You really hear a lot in acting about being in the moment, and with improv, yes, and. So we really had to listen, and we really had to respond to what the characters were saying to each other. At the same time, hitting the marks in the outline that would push the story forward. And at the same time, giving ourselves a lot of room to play. So that was the differentiator on this project, that we had to do a lot of different things at once, but it was all also very freeing and fun because we didn't have those specific lines that we needed to always memorize or deliver to other actors.
Yeah, I like that idea of how improv can also be applied to life. Just saying yes sometimes is really can be fun and it can take you different places. So that just seems so amazing that folks who did they have experience acting and doing this kind of improv? What were maybe some of the maybe good or bad or challenges of doing something so improvisational?
Well, another thing is I convinced my entire family to be in it, which
free labor.
Well, no, people got paid.
Oh, great.
Everyone.
Awesome. That's so great.
For one person, but we won't talk about that person.
Or maybe fed at least.
Oh, they were very extremely well fed. So what I'll say is that my family, so my wife, my two daughters, my wife Sarah Corda was a stage actress before we met. We kind of met through the arts.
Okay.
And so she had done a lot of theater in San Francisco, had done some films, had done some stuff in LA. And so she already came with that experience.
Wow.
My daughters hadn't done anything, but they're both so funny that I knew that if they were just allowed to, especially Dakota, who's a quick killer child, the drummer of the band.
Oh my gosh, she's so hilarious. I love that character
funny.
So much. So deadpan, so kind of dry. But so teenage, yes.
Totally. And and the other characters, Domingo Flores, played Gordon X. Garcia, has some acting, and he'll tell the story as well, that he wanted to get into acting. And so I said, oh, great, how about you are a lead in this short that I want to do called Socorro? And okay. And and then Jay Aguilar had done some acting as well in Sense8 and a bunch of shorts in San Francisco. And Jay is incredible person and funny, and had been in a Royal Goat band in college with Ruby, the costume designer, Susan Schrapp, / the 3 Hours of Gilda. And so we just assembled everyone. And Jay has been in or on all of my movies. So either behind the camera or in front of the camera, producing.
Great.
And I just love them to pieces. And so we just all got together, and I had done the acoustic thing in college, so I know a little bit about music. I've written songs before for other plays. I did a play in San Francisco in 2010 called The Mark Tenn's Fantastic Parade through Boxcar Theater, and I wrote original music for that. And so long story short, we all brought our varied talents and we combined them, and people who didn't have as much experience, we just did tons and tons of improv. And that loosened them up. It allowed them to get acquainted with their characters, and we just played. And as far as feeling relaxed and in your body and in your character, play is one of the most powerful tools that you have in your tool belt for that. So
yeah, absolutely. I think it really, I mean, I couldn't tell who was your family and who wasn't, but it really comes through the joy and like being able to collaborate with people that you're familiar with, and also bringing in, I think the genre lends itself to people who are just be trying it out and just have that presence, and that really comes through. And so what do you think, like, what has been the response from other people? I mean, I was just, my sides were splitting watching it and trying to piece together all the references, but what has it been like seeing it with other people? It's just been incredible, and I hope that side splitting wasn't a positive thing. It was a very positive thing, and not like an urgent care visit. But no. Great, okay, it's to watch it in the theater. We saw it, through Frameline. That was premiere in June of this year, and people were laughing the entire time, and that felt so just affirming and vindicating after all of this BS of the pandemic, to be able to sit in community, to laugh together, and it was constant. And we were sitting behind people who laughed very loud. I was like, yes, I can hear you laughing. I can feel you laughing. And it just powered through the whole thing. So it's been great. I've gotten emails from people saying, I haven't laughed that much in such a long time. Thank you. It felt so great after such a difficult couple of years, just to be able to let go and watch something that was just so funny. So yeah, it's been really a great response. Oh, that's so awesome. And also tapping into that, like all the elements of Riot Girl, and the fashion and the music itself. I mean, there was also the music. I really wanted to ask you about some of the music, like how those are some jams up in that movie.
Thank you.
Where does the music come from?
So I put out a call to our band members. Hey, any music that you made back in the day, send it my way. We're going to rearrange it all and make it sound punk or funky or something other than what it was. Okay. And so two of our friends, me and Sarah's friends, they're Lady Limes and Lady Fingers and Laura Limes. They performed in college with Sarah, who played Harriet, in Santa Cruz. You see Santa Cruz. Oh my God, Harriet, for sure. She's so funny. And a little bit annoying, but maybe that's part of her character, I think so. And I find like most of them are a little annoying. All of them have all of them.
Some endearing and fun, just like, what? Why?
Why? I love that I know you, but I don't really want to know you in real life. So they would perform with just a bass guitar and a hot licks guitar, because one of them actually wasn't a musician, so it just is a meow. And they wrote 2 songs in college, and that was Computer No No.
Oh, yes. Uh-huh.
And that was also Slick Stick, which is the beep, beep, box, box. So we just rearranged them to sound more Vulveeta-esque. And then the other 3 songs, there's Transportation Queen,
Yes.
which is near the end. That I had started to write years ago as like a pop punk song, and I wrote 1 verse and a chorus.
Okay.
So I rearranged it, and I completed the song just to be about a character who rides public transportation. And
Absolutely. We don't have enough songs about public
we
transportation.
really
in my
don't.
honest opinion. Yeah.
I hope that it becomes some kind of anthem. Speaking of anthems,
Yes.
which is an anthem in the movie called Don't Worry About Tomorrow. I wrote that specifically for the movie as well, based on Grilda's journey.
Uh-huh.
And then also, let's not forget Our Revolution. What is it? Our Own Generation, which was Storm Miguel's song when he was in 8th grade, and actually had a band called Hard Meat. And
Hard Meat, great.
Hard
That's a
Meat.
fabulous. Yes, love it.
And wrote Our Own
And
Generation.
that's the song that's in the trailer, right?
Yes. About being punk in 8th grade and wanting to take over the world.
Awesome. That's so great. I mean, recovering some of those songs from your youth and collaborations with everybody in the actual cast, that just sounds like so much fun.
It was so fun. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because at first we thought, okay, we're just gonna not actually be a band. We're gonna get other people to play, but with the exception of the drums, the recorded songs were all of us playing. And in the movie, Killer Child is playing the drums because Dakota actually took drum lessons as a kid and she plays drums. But when we were recording, we had a session drummer do that. And then we recorded everything before we filmed, played it during the movie, and then played along with the recording. But that's all our own stuff.
Yeah. It's so fabulous. You should have like a soundtrack release at some point. I don't know. That's just my personal opinion. But yeah, so tell me a little bit about, how did you get into filmmaking in and of itself? I mean, it's no small task getting all these people together to make, a show, a film, and get it to this point.
Yes. So my undergrad experience was fiction writing. I thought I wanted to be a fiction writer. Then I found that most of my fiction was a lot of dialogue. So then I did playwriting, and my graduate degree, my master's degree is in playwriting.
Okay.
And then I thought, I don't think I'm that good at playwriting. Let me try filmmaking. And so I just jumped around and tried these different artistic modalities, if you want to call them that. And then it was right around the time when movies like Clerks and Go Fish and all these really low budget movies were being made. And so that's what I did. I made a very low budget feature in 2000. Was my first one. We shot it in 2000 in the summer, and we premiered at Frameline in 2001. And I just did it with zero experience, just with finding my friends at the time, picking up a camera, getting 2 guys to pick up a camera, and just going on a road trip movie. And
yes, road trip movies.
Yeah. And then, and I just got the bug. And then over time, I just continued doing that. I took some classes locally through Film Arts Foundation, and then just kept doing it. And for a big stretch of time, I did this thing called $0 shorts, which was exactly, my goal was to spend $0 and do all these movies. Jay Aguilar figured very prominently in that process and acted and helped out. And it was to get behind the camera, learn the camera inside and out, learned composing shots, where to put the boom. And through that, I feel like that was my education in developing for the skills in filmmaking.
Yeah, just doing it, making it happen. I mean, I think that's part of that aesthetic, right? Is however and in whatever way, and getting people. I mean, that's a really unique skill though to have, is to get being someone who can bring those kinds of people together.
Yeah, and I hope so. And there's been a lot of trial and error, and this is not to diss anyone, but sometimes you just don't work as well with people, or they are just not an artistic or spiritual or other fit. And then you eventually find I eventually found those people who are my people, and now I've been working with them in different capacities for a few years now. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, that's a real gift for sure, to be a director, to write films, to have ideas and bring them to fruition, and then also bring those people together.
And
food. Yes. No, that is one thing the main thing I've learned when I was studying broadcasting was always feed people.
Yes.
And they will come.
If you feed them, they will come.
Yes. But I mean, so you've experienced a lot in this, in your process and in your filmmaking life, but can you tell us like what has changed since that time you first started to now? What's, what are some of the things? Yeah.
Just about the filmmaking world?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Or especially about queer filmmaking? You know, I mean, we have certain tropes, we have certain challenges, but a lot must have changed over those times.
So much. Like Go Fish was an anomaly, kind of. It was in a very positive way. It's like, oh my gosh, it's finally a movie by and for us, and it's artistic. It's black and white, and it's maybe it hasn't dated very well, but you didn't hear me say that. You didn't hear me say it hasn't dated very well. No, it is what it is, and I think it's a brilliant movie because of what it was able to do and accomplish. And now queers are everywhere. Like we're on TV, we're in mainstream media news and mainstream media, period. And so there's just this saturation now of queer content, which is amazing, Absolutely. And some of it is being questioned and fought against, but it's like, screw you. You can't come for us all now because we're everywhere.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, if it's got them shaking in their boots, then good. That's the point, right? Is to change the narrative.
Right. We're on, Hulu and Netflix and every streaming service. We are, but there are more queer film festivals now than there have ever been. So we're just, platforms like TikTok and the one that shall not be named because it was taken over by an evil guy. But that platform and Facebook, there's just so much video, so much content, and so much queer content that is just amazing. And we're definitely have been going through a renaissance, I feel like, for the last 20 years. So
yeah, I mean, because probably the cost of film and also the accessibility, all of that plays a huge part in what narratives, what stories get told. Yeah, can you tell us about any of your upcoming projects? I'd love to hear about them. So
I'm going to be appearing, I'm co-producing, and I'm going to be like a supporting actor in Storm Miguel's movie called Welcome to Roswell. Hopefully will be filmed next year. And then also in December, if I have my way, we're going to be releasing a movie I did in 2010, the one I mentioned before about the young man who leaves Austin to go to California, and it's called Mother Country. Long story short there is we were like working with a sales rep who just didn't do anything in the time that we were supposed to be getting it distributed. So I'm going to self-distribute on Vimeo on demand. And we're just finishing up the subtitles to make it accessible. And hopefully we'll have a December release of that movie that's been 12 years in the waiting. And that was a great, fun experience because it was the first time I got to work with any actors or actresses in Hollywood. And so Cindy Pickett, who played Ferris Bueller's mom, and then also Tia Gill, who was one of the cast members of Queer as Folk.
Oh, wow.
And Ernest Waddell, who has played in a Special Victims Unit, as well as The Wire. All of my movies have either queer content or POC. So this one is the main character is a cis het black male. And it's his story getting out of a rough neighborhood and doing something that you might expect. So very unexpected twists and turns, and almost like a parable in some ways of what might happen if someone did something like this. But everyone behind the camera, most people behind the camera were queer and POC. And it's not really something I set out to do necessarily, to say, okay,
right.
there are going to be no cis white men in my
Right.
movies or behind the camera, but it's kind of evolved because I'm so in community now to working with the
Yes.
people that I know and love. And so that's how it's evolved into something that's just really makes me feel held, hopefully makes
Yeah.
everyone else feel held, and really just celebrates who we are and just has this feeling of family on set. And so, but I do have to say that for Mother Country, the lead character, and all of the characters, I don't believe we have any queer characters in the actual movie.
Right. Yes, absolutely. So even just centering people of color, centering queer folks, any, kind of cross section or intersections, all of those folks, those are our people, those are our community
Absolutely.
and our allies.
Yep.
And it's really beautiful to see that come, be on the screen in all those shapes and forms that you
Yep.
have been a part of over the years. So honestly, I was a fan. I think I saw something of yours in a Queer Women of Color Film Festival. And since then, I just seeing, women filmmakers, queer filmmakers, to me are just my heroes, so
thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Is there anything else you want to share with us today, that
I've always wanted to say this. Thank you for having me. Everyone says that, right? Thank you for having me. Thank you for having me, Maya.
Well, thank you for coming. Thank you for being here. Vulveeta is going around the film festival circuit, so follow them on Facebook and Instagram to find the next screening near you. And if you want to see some of Maria's other work, check her out at Ambrosia on Vimeo. Links will be in the description.
And you know what? It's a very, very important thing. Be sure to like and share this video, because you know what? I've been talking to Grilda, and even though she's gone through some healing and she's not such a narcissist, she's discovered technology, y'all, and she wants to go viral. So let's help her make that happen, okay? Like and share.
Yes, Grilda should absolutely be internet famous. Oh my God, that'd be so
Oh yes, all
great.
kind of internet famous.
Let's do it, y'all. So, all right, that's for our show. It for our show today. We'll be on a break until January, but be sure you're subscribed to get notified when we're back. And happy Homo Days, everybody.